we are tracking breaking news. Good afternoon. I'm Sherman Chow. 3 people, including a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, in the hospital after they were struck by a vehicle this morning on the East Freeway. In the last 5 hours since it happened, we've learned all 3 are expected to survive. We've got team coverage with Agochi Iloka at the Texas Medical Center and Michelle Choi near the scene of the crash. All right, Michelle, you're learning more about how this crash happened.
Yeah, that's right, Sherman. You know, according to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, that deputy was working a crash scene here along the East Freeway at Sheldon just before 7 this morning when a large work truck carrying heavy equipment on a trailer came barreling in and drove through that scene, hitting all 3 people. Minutes later, we're told that deputy radioed in for help. KHOU 11 obtained that dispatch audio, but we have to warn you, it may be difficult for some of you to listen to.
Under the feeling.
I'm 12, so I believe she says she just got ran over. Come on, keep talking.
Yeah, you can hear the deputy who we're told began her career with HCSO in 2010 trying to talk through the pain, just gut-wrenching. The sheriff says seconds before the crash, she put her own life on the line and pushed one of those civilians out of the way, which the sheriff says likely prevented that man from being killed. However, all 3 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. This is video you just saw of Life Flight landing in the middle of the freeway. Unfortunately, due to weather this morning, it wasn't able to fly back with the patients, but both the deputy and one of the men were taken to Memorial Hermann by ambulance. The other man was taken to a separate hospital. Fortunately, all 3 we're told are expected to survive. Meanwhile, here's a closer look at the aftermath of that crash. At this point, Sheriff Gonzalez says there is no indication the driver of the work truck was impaired. However, he does believe that driver may have been speeding while coming off an overpass, combined with the heavy weight of the trailer and equipment. He says the driver did stay at the scene. Now back out here live after being shut down for hours this afternoon, I can tell you that I-10 East is back open and flowing. The scene was clear just after 10:30 this morning. Sherman, back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you. And our team coverage picks up with Agochi Iloka outside of the hospital. And Agochi, you spoke to the sheriff about this crash and how that deputy was dragged by the truck.
Yeah, Sherman, that's right. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the deputy that was hit by that work truck driver was dragged 75 feet from the point of impact to under the bridge. Right now, the deputy, along with another person who was struck in that accident, are being treated here at Memorial Hermann. The other person who was hit in the crash was taken to a separate hospital, but is going to be okay. This is exclusive video you'll only see on KHOU 11 of that injured deputy being rushed to the ER in an ambulance just a few hours ago. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the deputy has been with the department since 2014 and says her armor helped reduce the impact of the crash to her body. She and 2 other men were hit by a work truck carrying a heavy load. The sheriff says she was able to shove one of the men out of harm's way, ultimately saving his life. After she did that, she was able to muscle up the strength to call 911, saying she'd been hit.
She radioed in distress, asking for help, asking for assistance. That will to survive are all commendable, especially, again, at the last moment. We've already seen some evidence where she tried to push that other person that still sustained injuries. No one was spared, but nonetheless, you know, is expected to survive.
Yeah, and the deputy that the sheriff was talking about there, who he calls a hero, suffered injuries to her legs, but overall, she, along with the other person that was injured in this accident, taken here, who suffered several broken bones, are going to make eventually a full recovery. Reporting live at Memorial Hermann, Agochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.